Chicago Bulls Media Day and training camp is around the corner. So when we gonna head into this thing the right way. So far, today, who is the most intriguing player heading into training camp? I got CDubb here, man. We gonna talk about it. But you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm down here right here with my dog, CDubb. How you doing, boy?
I'm back, bitch. Let's get it.
If you like what you're listening to today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then shake the notification bell. So every time we drop, you'll be one of the first ones to know. Now, training camp is around the corner. I'm really, really excited. Hopefully, the Bulls can breathe some life into my Chicago sports fandom right now. CDubb, I know you know where I'm going with this, but the team that we wear blue and orange, they don't deserve their name right now. The team that wear blue and orange, they hurting us. But nonetheless, we get to hope that the Chicago Bulls put together a season of fun and excitement. Because right now, we down, bro. But with all the players up in there, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Ayo, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic, etc., who you got as your most intriguing player heading into training camp, my guy?
Hey, this was a good topic when you gave it to me. I was thinking, like, man, should I go with the obvious, like a Kobe White, a Patrick Williams, or Javon Carter? But I was like, nah, I need to do this for this guy because he catching a lot of unforeseen flack or unnecessary flack from the fans and from the front office, steady putting them in trade negotiations. Zach LaVine is my most intriguing player this year coming up. Zach LaVine will have his best year thus far in his career this upcoming season. Expect over a 30-point game per average for Zach LaVine. Expect what he usually does, 40, 50, 90 in the shooting percentage. There's not a lot of players does that. Every year, Zach LaVine, I could take it all the way back to the Minnesota Timberwolves, but every year he's been with the Chicago Bulls, he's got better. If you know basketball, you can see it. This upcoming season, it's time for him to put that all in together. I think this is his prime. This is going to be his biggest year yet. Zach LaVine, that's my most intriguing player for the Chicago Bulls coming up. No doubt.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. That was real cute. Now I'm just that was cute, But he kind of poo-pooed on my pick, so I gotta go ahead and let him know I'm gonna stand right here, right firm. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Kobe White. Kobe White so far is the most intriguing player. Look, if you call me on Locked On Bulls, go ahead and check it out. I said something over there too. Locked On Bulls. We locked in on Locked On Bulls. But right here, we with Shy Bulls podcast, and we got to get y'all the real. I'm going with Kobe White. I would have picked Patrick Williams if he ain't make me look like a fool last year. Yeah. But I'm not picking him. I'm picking Kobe White. Kobe Ben Gordon White, as CDubb calls him. I'm going with Kobe White, and the reason is simple. With a better handle, a better understanding of his entire game, getting better on the defensive end, we seen Kobe White put all that stuff on the floor, but it was a bit shaky. So now Kobe White goes into this season where he's going to stay in his lane. And now all that improvement that he's put forth for us as Chicago Bulls fans, this man is about to add consistency along with the improved play. And I believe now with the Chicago Bulls saying, hey, Javon Carter, well, they haven't said it, but I believe it's going to be said on media day. Javon Carter is our starting point guard. Kobe White is going to be the sixth man off the bench for the Chicago Bulls. And me personally, I see him receiving a few votes. He might not win it, but he will go out here and get some votes for Sixth Man of the Year, simply because now I believe he gets to carve out a roadmap as being that sixth man who will eventually be a starting point guard in this league, whether it's with the Chicago Bulls or elsewhere.
No.
What you think?
I like it. I like it though. But you got my man coming off the bench, so you basically conceding the starting job to Javon Carter. Do you think that in Kobe White plans, nephew?
For now, but eventually he's gonna want that starting spot. Hence why, and that's why I know these two guys, and y'all heard me say it before. These two guys talk about Tyus Jones, and Kobe White kind of mimic each other as far as how their career is going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How their career is going. But if you look at Tyus Jones, hey, he got tired of being second fiddle to Ja Morant. When Ja Morant was out, he took care of business. They had a crazy winning average with Tyus Jones as the starting point guard, and they would have had a nice little start to that season if he would have still been a Memphis Grizzly. But guess what? He got up out of there. He's going to be a starter in Washington with the Wizards. He's going to have every opportunity to prove that he belongs. I believe Kobe White at some point, not this year, but maybe the year after or until the end of his contract, he will have an opportunity one day to show that he's a starting point guard. Would that be good or bad? It's TBD. It's TBD. Okay. But we know right now, my guy gonna be sixth man off the bench.
Oh my goodness. I ain't going with that. I got Kobe White winning this. I got him winning this competition though.
I don't think I wouldn't be mad.
Huh?
I don't think it's a competition right now.
You don't think you think Javon just come in and he the incumbent? He just gonna be he anointed the starting point guard. I don't know. We got to see media day coming up. We're gonna see.
They haven't said it, but from what I'm looking at, Javon Carter starting.
And I think, and I'm gonna say this on your point. I think Javon Carter is a little bit more than what he's brought to the NBA and to the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns. I think he's a little bit more that. I will give you that. I think he'll be an entirely different player than what people think he was. And when he was a role player on these other teams, they didn't need him to be the starter. When you got Drew Holiday and Chris Paul and all these other people that he was backing up. But I just love the way Kobe White is an enigma because we can't just stamp down what position he is. Is he going to be a point guard? Is he going to be a shooting guard? Is he going to be a combo guard? What is he going to be? And it's really up to him. I think he's trying to be a point guard for sure.
I believe so. And I believe that gets put on display this season simply because I believe now with the improved ball handling, you have to eventually trust this guy a little bit more. So I believe he's going to shine and run things within that second unit. And if he does that, that's going to affect the other guys that surround him. It's going to affect Ayo Dosunmu, and it's going to affect Alex Caruso tremendously because now you allow Alex Caruso to be the defensive force that he is. And on the offensive side, you allow Alex Caruso to do what he does best. And that's a little bit of everything.
Yes, so, absolutely.
That's how I look at that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Alex Caruso needs to stay doing what he does best. And I think that'll make instantly, when you put too much on his plate, Alex Caruso can make dumb mistakes sometimes when he got to initiate off. But he can be spectacular sometimes when he making plays and being a playmaker on the floor, but not all the time. You can't count on him for that. What do you think? Because I'm surprised with all his boasting and he's sticking his chest out and he's saying, I'm going to be the leader. I'm surprised you didn't say Nick Vooch.
No.
Do you not believe in Nick Vooch? You're not intrigued?
I know what he's going to give me, bro. He's going to give me double-doubles out the backside. He good.
But what about the leadership he want to give it? Well,
he's trying to be the leader. About none of that.
Damn, you ain't even respecting his words. He said, I want to be a leader.
I want to respect his word, but that don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's time to see the young Bulls rise up. I believe the young Bulls, they ain't got a choice but to rise up. For the sake of this last dance is what Nikola Vucevic was alluding to. Mm-hmm. Young guys got to show up. We know what the big three going to do. We know what they're going to do. Yeah. That's why the intrigue comes from the young guys. I believe the correct choice is whoever you pick is a young guy. You pick Zach LaVine. I'm not mad at it. I will love me. This is what I want to see from Zach LaVine, and I believe it's a solid choice. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at it. But the next step for Zach LaVine is elevating others around him. We know
Okay.
that you can go ahead and get your 30 whenever you want.
Yeah.
We know that. A 3-level score, spectacular, and it's people that hate him. That's their prerogative. I don't really give a shit. But the next step for Zach LaVine will be, how do you elevate others around you? And I kind of felt like we seen that in the second half of last season where he was alongside Patrick Beverly. Now you get alongside Javon Carter, who's a lot better than Patrick Beverly is when it comes to making threes. And that will just help Zach LaVine become a better version of himself. I believe Javon Carter, it might not look the best on paper when you pick him up, but if you watch his game and see that he's going crazy from the 3-point line and definitely clutch or can knock down some of those good threes in transition, that only adds on to the floor spacing for the Chicago Bulls. And that beneficiary that benefits the most will be Zach LaVine. So I'm not mad at
Yeah.
the pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I like what you said. Zach need to make his teammates better. He needs to uplift his teammates. You gave your reason, and when people say that, I immediately go to getting assists and playmaking and trusting in them, and not
Mm-hmm.
going in just forcing shots and just forcing shots left and right. I
Mm-hmm.
do think that is correct. I think he needs to be a more vocal leader on the floor
I agree.
as well. I
I
think he
agree.
needs to be a leader as in show. I don't want to see him talking. I want to see him show on defense every single possession. Show him that you want to fight for every possession. We remember Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Every possession they sitting in the chair. They gonna make you have to work to score on them. I think he got the athletic ability to be such a better defensive player. And at times, we've seen Zach LaVine shut down the door on a couple of great NBA scores. Everybody that's NBA can score the basketball, but there are levels to this shit, and there's some great scores, and he stayed in front. I
Yeah.
think he's the most athletic player in the game. Defense should come easy for him. And yeah, I'm agree with you, and I'm gonna just add in that extra defense caveat too.
It's all about effort. Me personally, I'm not expecting him to go ahead and be a top-notch defender on every possession. But when it matters, you got to sit in that chair, because I believe he's going to have to, exuberate so much energy offensively to keep the Bulls within it. You can't really, you got to depend on the others a little bit. You
But
know what
where
I'm
that
saying? In
come
that
from
regard.
though, nephew? That ain't this is part basketball is defensive, offensive. You should
I
play
get
as
you.
as
And I'm
well on
not
both
saying,
sides. Yeah.
the point I'm trying to make is I just believe that his most, how can I word this? His most, his best defensive effort should come in key moments. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, you could
Yeah.
still be a presence throughout the game, but when you really have to sit in a chair, you in 2 minutes left, 5 minutes left in the game, a minute left in the game, he got to rise to the occasion. You got to say, screw energy, screw what I'm trying to do offensively, especially now. Now, for the totality of the game, if the game is not going his way, absolutely, you got to affect the game in other ways, because that shot
Yes.
ain't gonna always fall. That's just basketball. Everybody's gonna have their day. And in
Yeah.
an 82 game season, you're gonna have multiple days. So
Yeah.
you got to lean on other things and other ways on how you can go ahead and get involved or stay involved within the flow of the game to better others. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's what I'm really looking at. And one last point, I think he showed tremendous leadership by getting the Bulls to go ahead and play softball. Some people might say it's gimmicky, but I say, hey, if Zach LaVine was behind that and pulling everybody together, players and coaches, that's something that you look at. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do that, so I got to give him kudos for that for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm glad you said that because this is in fact Zach Levine's team. You wouldn't know that
Some
because I
people
don't
believe
think
it's
he
DeMar.
echoed it. What you say, nephew?
I said some people believe it's DeMar's.
Somebody could believe it's DeMar's, but Zach is the best player on the team. Head and
Facts.
shoulders. It is what it is. He should be the de facto leader. I understand DeMar DeRozan and his experience, and he has great leadership too. But Zach LaVine should be at least at the very minimum on the level of DeMar as far as leadership goes on this team. Uh,
Facts.
Kobe White too. I like to see some better shot selection from him too. Continue to improve on that that handle. It's looking real nice off season too.
Yes, sir.
And pick and roll continue to get better. And Kobe White always been a scorer. I'm not really worried about him scoring the basketball. I'm worried about him playmaking and playing defense, which he started to do pretty well last season too. So
I got a question.
yeah,
Last year, both of us looked like fools. Both of us like Patrick Williams. He might be in a run for most improved player. That was a dud. So,
yeah,
what are you intrigued
I
at
am.
all by Patrick Williams?
Yeah, because I think it's a do or die for Patrick Williams. I don't think it's do or die like he gonna be out the league, but this is gonna set his role in this NBA for his future. Are you just a 3 and D player? Or you're more than that, Patrick Williams? I believe he's more of that, but it's been 3 years, right? 3, 4 years.
Yep.
After this fourth year, I think this coming up, you are what you are, bro. Unless you
Facts.
work extremely hard. He got all the gifts and talents and all the strength and all of that you want to say, but if you ain't doing it and they giving you all ample opportunity, and who's to say you get ample opportunity to do it with Billy Donovan coaching and his substitution patterns and how he like to use players, but this is going to define you. This season is going to define Patrick Williams for sure.
I agree. And now he's 22 years old. You've been
Yep.
able to buy Hennessy, Remy, and all the cognac in the world for over a year now, my boy. At some point, you got to take a shot of one of them and let it hit you hard in the chest, like how your daddy used to punch you in your chest and say, "Get your stuff together." You know
Oh, bro.
what I'm saying? But in other words, you got to go ahead and grow up.
Yeah.
You got to grow up.
Yeah.
For me, it's the same thing with Kobe White. We seen this guy show flashes. We seen Patrick Williams, you know what I'm saying, be solid on the defensive end. We seen him start to get to that, that mid-range jump shot a little bit, get into a spot. You seen him go on to that at the second end of in the second half of last season. But now it's all about staying in your lane and finding some consistency.
Yeah.
You got to do it. But I ain't gonna
Yeah.
I ain't gonna make no fool of myself and put him at the top of the list
Yeah.
for the most intrigued players. You got to show
Okay.
me. You got to put it on wax. Too many Chicago sports teams that broke my heart in the
Oh
last
man.
years.
Bro,
It
I'm
broke my heart.
surprised we even got heart movement, yo.
Real.
Circulatory problems all in
This
our
thing
body.
is an irregular heartbeat. Boom, boom,
Oh,
boom,
bro.
boom, boom.
Hey,
Bro.
before we go, I want you to rate our our 3 young players from most intriguing to less intriguing. The top 3. That's Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams. I will go. Most confident starting first. Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams.
I'm gonna go with the same list in that order.
Okay.
Simply because I already mentioned why I want Kobe White number 1, and I already chose him anyway. So number 2 is Ayo Dosunmu, simply because I believe he's gonna have ample opportunity to make a name for himself. He just got the new deal, so he should be feeling good for himself. I get it with Patrick Williams. He's still gonna rank last for me. I tried to come up real quick with an argument to put him number 2 as most intriguing young player, but what's more intriguing than, hey, if you play well, you got 120 mil waiting on you, bro, for a rookie extension.
If he can't do it this year for that
then
bread,
win.
I mean, when he gonna do it? You see his grandma shoot the ball. You see, I'm telling me every day, shoot the ball, baby.
It's crazy.
Somebody got to go upside his head. I don't even think it'll hurt though.
For real. So y'all go ahead and let us know who's your most intriguing player heading into training camp. And then if you want to go ahead and do something similar to what we just did with ranking the young players and who you're most intrigued with 1 through 3, select who you want to select. We just gonna chop it up and talk about it in the comments anyway. CDubb,
bro.
you got anything left, man?
Yeah. Shout out to my man, to my nephew, going crazy on Lockdown Bulls. Cognac boys is spreading all over the place. Make sure y'all stay in tune. Y'all never know what Cognac boys gonna pop up at. Oh, bro.
Y'all already know. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. If you want to sound off on a take on that we dropped today. Call in or send a text message 773-242-9219. It's another episode of Shy Boys Podcast. I'm Bobby. That's CDubb. We gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
Cognac. Gang.